darlings. Welcome back to my brand new Tarot 101 Learn to Read Tarot channel. My name is Joan Daniels. I'm a reader of many decades experience and a tarot author, and I have another channel on YouTube that's all about readings only. And this is about teaching tarot. And we're starting with the aces of the major arcana. So welcome. Please check out the description box below. Consider liking and subscribing to learn tarot for free, or for the price of an ad anyway. And hopefully, we'll see. Today, we are looking at the Ace of Swords, a card that some people find a little either unsure how to interpret or a little bit difficult. It's not as sunny and bright as the rest of the aces are. But all aces are good. All aces are positive. Here's some different decks. It's a very literal interpretation. You see cutting through the dross. Some tarot cards are just beautiful art and don't actually use depictions of traditional images. Here's a very traditional one. All aces are usually given by God on high, right? With these Hebrew symbols of God as well. A hand coming through the clouds. An amusing little sword. But this is an interesting piece of information. Look at you, you're bursting with sparkling new ideas. And that's true. The fundamental theme of the swords is not pain. It is thought. It is intellect. It is ideas before they come to fruition. There's a gorgeous Ace of Swords right here from the Aquarian Tarot, my first learning deck. This deck is very old and very precious to me. So I'm using it for all the thumbnails. Now, I'm using little swords aside. The Ace of Swords is a powerful card. I need a sip of tea. Excuse me. Ugh. Okay, that's better. Unlike, say, the cups or the wands or the rods, the Ace of Swords can be an idea, a brilliant idea that isn't necessarily acted on yet. But it lets you know that you're onto something, right? That's a very first interpretation of the Ace of Swords. A second interpretation of it is unsticking energy. Stuff that's stuck and stagnant and frustrating is about to be cut through and sliced through, like a knife cutting through the Gordian knot, if you know your mythology. There's also a passionate aspect to it. Anything that's a phallic symbol is going to have a passionate interpretation. And if it shows up in a romance spread, it can mean two people are just really hot for each other's brains. Not to actually eat, we aren't zombies, but I mean the way they think, their sense of humor, their wit, their intellect, super hot, super hot. Even more so than the sunny, handsome, and beautiful ones who are always, super duper pretty and super duper attractive, but maybe not like the world's great intellect. These are the brooders, right? These are the brooding, thoughtful, witty, dark, sardonic people. My people. I mean, there's a reason why Astarion's my favorite fictional character. Anyway, when swords show up in a spread, people get nervous because they think it's going to be bad stuff. But often, what the swords are a needed ripping off of the Band-Aid, right? Paying attention to what's hurting you and finally doing something about it. I feel very positive about the swords, and I want you to not fear them when they show up in a spread. I do not read reversed cards because I think tarot is very balanced, but as I will always say and repeat many times, but that doesn't mean you can't. And if you want to read these cards in a reversed position, you can just think of them not necessarily as the opposite of what I'm saying here, but as in a diminished capacity or a frustrating capacity. For example, if The Ace of Swords represents a brilliant idea that needs to be acted on and brought into the world. A reversed sword might suggest that you're having a difficult time getting it out of your head and into the 3D, right? So it's time to, make that extra effort and to push through and to get the party started, as it were, right? And, perpetual procrastinators like myself deeply understand the idea of stuck energy and unsticking it. So this is an important card when it shows up, and I hope you will welcome it the way I always do. Um, I think it's a kind of a smexy energy, actually, more so than the wands, even though the wands are more phallic in their depiction. The swords are more interesting, yum, more layered, more in depth. So it's a fun card to show up in a romance spread and should be welcomed. When the Ace of Swords shows up at the beginning of its spread, it means a wild new idea or energy is coming into your life. And when it shows up as the outcome card, it means, aha, we're on our way. This is out of our head and into the world. And it's just starting. So this aces as an outcome card don't necessarily mean, and it all worked out beautifully for everyone, and this is your happy ending. It means we're off to a brilliant start. Now, check in with me in a couple of months. See what I'm saying? So, always welcome, always to be enjoyed. This one in particular, a little bit more layered than some. And yeah, welcome to Swords. All right. Consider liking and subscribing, as I mentioned before. And coming up next, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Bye for now.